How's it going, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome to the live. We're going to go ahead and jump right into this one. Today, Mr. Darrell is going to be covering secret recipes and sausage making. So if any of that sounded interesting to you, I know it did to me when it came across my desk. Stay tuned. In the next 5 to 10 minutes, we will be experiencing all of the new information Mr. Darrell has to offer. Happy Monday, Mr. Tim. Great to see you as always. So, where is Mallett this week? I'm glad you asked. We are in 99 different job locations, you guys. Those numbers are still up. Last week we had 102. This week we have 99 different jobs going on. I brought back the color coding because I missed it. So as you can see, we have everything from in construction, on the ground, inspection, fill sand, forms, concrete, finishers, gutters, control joints, and red tags. Go and fix those uh-ohs here and there. We are everywhere from just west of College Station, all the way into Mississippi, the New Orleans area, and a little bit past. As always, very proud of the range in which we are able to make these jobs happen. Now, going to Louisiana, we have 73 jobs going on this week. As I said, everything from in construction to red tags. We're in Leadville, Ball, Downsville, Sulphur, Lockport, Branch, Denham Springs, New Roads, Moore and Sulphur, Scott, DeQuincy, Church Point. You get the picture, you guys. We are in 73 different locations just in our beautiful state of Louisiana, you guys. As always, covering the entire I-10 corridor and beyond. I love, love, love seeing all this happen, you guys. It's such a cool thing we do. I'm happy to do this. Now, in Texas, we are in 24 different job locations. Again, buildings in construction, on the ground materials, inspections, gutters, forms, fill sand, concrete, red tags, you guys. We are all over this eastern side of Texas. Now, why Mallett? Why have 99 people just this week chosen to be a part of the Mallett building process? Let me go ahead and start telling you why. They probably did their research and they realized this is the industry standard specs that a lot of builders are abiding by. Now, this is what we modeled the Rival series after. We wanted to make an industry standard building. What does that mean? That means it's going to come with 29 gauge metal, a 4-on-12 roof pitch, 2x6 common flat trusses not inspected. Now, 130, 135 mile an hour wind rating, no Mallett cable lock system. That's the uplift control. Posts in the dirt or gravel. You're going to get 2x8 headers, 3,000 PSI concrete, a limited warranty, and number 2, lumber, you guys. This is industry standard. That's what most people are doing. This is what we modeled the Rival after. A few tweaks here and there because this is Mallett, but that is what most builders are building with now. Let me tell you what Mallett is building with because this is what truly sets us apart, you guys. 26 gauge metal is going to be standard on every Mallett building. We're giving you nothing but the best, and that continues into our number 1 MCA ground treated lumber, kiln dried. Number 1 lumber, you guys, because if you want the number 1 builder, why wouldn't they be using number 1 lumber? It's a little more expensive on our end, but it makes sure you get the best quality wood possible for your building. Now, in that building, you're going to have a 5-on-12 roof pitch as well as 2x8 scissor trusses. These are going to be premium quality scissor trusses with no 2x6, 2x4 interwebbing as a lot of other people who say they do 2x8 trusses do. This is a full 2x8 scissor truss, and every truss is going to be third-party inspected, you guys. We have outside industries that come in and qualify our work and make sure everything is consistent and to code and standard. We also are going to have 170 mile an hour wind rating on the truss system, the roof system. That's going to be because of these 2x12 headers, those scissor trusses, and all the beefy materials that we throw in there. More on that to come. If you want information on that, comment roof system. Now, the Mallett cable lock system, you guys, this is a phenomenal design we have here at Mallett Buildings. It is that 1/8 inch aircraft cable that goes post to post around the entire building in all directions, connecting the whole system together. Under that's going to be a moisture barrier between the ground and the cable lock, and on top of all that is going to be our 4,000 PSI concrete with a mallet that's going to be a 4-inch slab. All of that concrete is going to sit on top of this aircraft cable, creating all that, or pulling all that dead weight of the concrete and the building onto that cable lock system, and that's going to be holding everything down. So say you have a high wind situation, it busts through a window, a door, something like that, it's going to rush in and want to create what we call updraft as it pushes up like a parachute trying to take the building away. The Mallett cable lock system prevents that because it has to take the whole weight of the slab and the building to even move it. And thankfully, in our 27 years of business, we have not lost a building to a hurricane that has had a Mallett cable lock system, and we're very proud of that. Now, you're also going to have concrete under every post, so you're going to have a pad of concrete that's 4,000 psi under every 6x6 post on your building. You're also going to have skirt board guard for ground protection. We start off with a 4-year workmanship warranty, already double what most in the industry can, if they even do offer. We talked about the lumber, and we're going to have, of course, our in-house engineers. Mr. Darrell is here today, as always, every Monday to go over his topic, but they're going to be verifying all of our designs, all the buildings are to standard and code as well. So that's the quick difference between what most builders are doing for their best buildings and what Mallett does as our starter building, you guys. As you can see, we're already far ahead of the industry standards because why stop there? Now, if you are interested in a Mallett building, you get your $500 off your Mallett building if you are a teacher and educator, military personnel, first responder, and or healthcare worker. You do so much for the community and those in it. We just want to say thank you. So when you're ready for your Mallett building, you can get $500 off just by being who you are. Now, if you comment cash on a video like this, you can get $1,000 off your elite or signature Mallett building. Does not apply to specials or promotions, but commenting cash on a video will get you $1,000 off. And if you fall into one of these special, wonderful categories, you can bundle that together for $1,500 off your next Mallett building. How cool is that? Now, December specials and promotions, you guys, we have maybe 2-3 days left of December. It's pretty much 2026, you guys. The year has flown by and so much has happened. But we have the specials and promotions that are going on for the next today's 29th, next 2 days. Now, the Christmas rival, you guys. Christmas may be over, but the season is still here and the deals are here as well, only until 2026, so don't wait. Now, what you get in this Christmas rival special, you get an industry standard building that is 20 by 40 by 12, but it's built by Mallett. So just because you get industry standard doesn't mean you can't have the best builders in the industry. So keep that in mind, 20 by 40 by 12, beautiful buildings for $16,999, you guys. Where else are you gonna find pricing like that? It's like Black Friday. Get your deal today before it's over. But if you want something a little more, we have a 20 by 50, same industry standard specs, but built by the best builders in that industry. 20 by 50 by 12 for $20,999, you guys. These buildings are, if you don't want to break the bank, you just need a building, it is a great option. But if you're more interested in what Mallett has to offer, because you just saw our comparison chart and what Mallett starts with, we have something for you as well. The Cajun Oasis Classic. It is a 30 by 50 by 12, fully insulated, fully climate controlled building with an electrical package. So it's insulated, climate controlled, and has power. It is the power. So all of that for $49,999, you guys, and included in that $49,999, you get $16,000 of value just thrown in there, because that electrical package and 5-ton unit you see is a $16,000 value, but don't worry about that. It is all included for $49,999 in your 30 by 50 by 12. And honestly, look how beautiful that is. And if the regular insulation is not what you're interested in, and you want to talk about spray foam, ask about spray foam. We have that as an option as well. Now, I know you've seen the rival and I know you've seen the classic, but what if you want just a little bit more? You know, you wanted more with the classic, you love what you see, but that's not it. You still want more. I have something for you as well. The Cajun Oasis Elite. It is going to have all the benefits, the same $16,000 value of the Cajun Oasis Classic. However, it is going to be a Mallett Elite building. What does that mean? You're going to have tons of upgraded features, extra windows, better quality on the structure of the building, because you're going to have tighter truss and post spacing, allowing for 145 mile an hour wind load rating on the building, keeping that same 170 wind load on the roof system. You're also going to get 2 windows, a door, walk-through door, and a roll-up door with the optional wainscoting. And there's tons more features, you guys. You get gutters, gutter brushes, post protectors, all this stuff, you guys. That's included in the Elite. Only for $59,999. Just $10,000 more, you guys, for everything we just talked about and more. That's a deal if I've ever heard one, because as soon as this building is done, you're gonna be able to walk in, flip the lights on, and have whatever event you plan on having in your 30 by 50 by 12. So if you want to talk about the Cajun Oasis Elite, comment Oasis or give us a call at 337-214-0428, and we'd be happy to help get you in your Oasis. Now, the 5 red flags. I want to talk about this, you guys, because we can stand up here and say all these beautiful things about what we do and how we build, but nothing strikes as much when you haven't done the research, because I could just be saying this. So what are some things to look forward to when you are discovering who you want to use for your builder? Let's look at that. Number 1 is years in business. You can check that at the Secretary of State website. Though everyone has to start somewhere, not everyone wants to be the first person's guinea pig. You don't want to be that first customer where they make all the mistakes and have to learn from. Here at Mallett, we've been in business for 27 years and going. We're looking for 30, 40, 50, and more. We're happy about that. We're proud of that. So we've been around the block a few times, and our workmanship and craftsmanship speak for itself. But check how long they've been around on the Secretary of State website. If they don't pop up, that could be a red flag. Now, licensure. We're going to go ahead and couple this with contractor violations, because they can both be found at the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors, or the LSLBC for short. That being said, you want to make sure the person you're doing business with is licensed to actually do business. And if they are, because if they're not, that's a huge red flag. But if they are, you want to make sure they have no contractor violations. Because I always believe, and Mr. Trent has said this before, if you have to do research and figure out they had a violation they haven't told you, well, first off, they have violations. That's a red flag. But why wouldn't they tell you? Here at Mallett, into our 27 years, we have 0 contractor violations, and we're incredibly proud about that. So check that at the LSLBC's website and be sure you are clear of a contractor-ridden or a violation-ridden contractor. Now, reviews on the BBB and Google. This goes back to how I opened this segment, you guys. You want to make sure you're not just listening to what the company has to say, because it may sound sweet coming from the people pushing the company. But nothing is more real and credit-worthy than reviews from the people who've been through the process. We're proud to say between the BBB, the Better Business Bureau, and Google, we have over 685 reviews, averaging a 4.9 star rating. So that's almost 700 people who have decided to share their experience on Mallett and our process. We're incredibly proud about that, and if you are one of those people, thank you very much. We appreciate it, and we consider a good review or a reference the lifeblood of our company, and we just can't say thank you enough. So if you're interested in looking for a builder or getting a Mallett building, be sure to check out those reviews and make sure you see the process of what other people have experienced, both good and bad. When you get your contract from Mallett Building, you get copies of the record. It's a great point, Mr. Tim. We are very proud to do that. He said when you get your contract from Mallett Buildings, you get copies of our insurance and business license. He hasn't heard of anyone else doing that. So that's just another step, because again, we're very upfront about us and the process. We want you to be knowledgeable as well. But check out their reviews on the BBB and Google. We have an A+ rating at the Better Business Bureau. A lot of companies aren't even acknowledged by them. So keep these things in mind and make sure you see what people are saying. Now, visit the contractor's facility. You guys know this is our favorite part, because we have an amazing facility. We have the roll form plant, we have the truss plant, obviously this massive facility, you guys. We have the packing plant, the shipping plant, we have the gutter operation. We have so much stuff going on around here. But as always, I like to say, most importantly, we have our people here. We have the people who are going to be helping design your building, who are going to be help construct your building, do your finishes, pour your concrete, make sure your schedule's on track. You can meet the engineering team. Anyone who is a part of the process is here and happy to shake your hand, and you can put a face to the name and make sure a smiling person is there waiting to understand what you're going through and help you through your process. And that is what we are most proud of here at Mallett, is a cooperative and wonderful team. Now, as always, we want to get to the secret recipes and sausage making with Mr. Darrell. I'm excited and a little hungry off of this, but stay tuned and see what we got for today. Mr. Darrell, it's all you.
Hey, I'm Darrell Fussell. I'm the engineer here at Mallett, and want to share some stuff with you. This last Monday of this year. And so I titled it Secret Recipes and Sausage Making. So whenever I stand up here and give these talks every week, I want to be informative without giving away my secret recipe for how we design these buildings. And I don't want to bore you with the sausage making or give you too much detail. So that's what that's about. So, when it comes to secret recipe, we all know about the secret recipe of Coca-Cola that's locked tight in a vault. I thought that was a really cool picture. And Tyler says that's a real thing. And then, of course, you have the KFC secret recipe, which somebody put this on the internet, so it must be true. I have a story to tell about the Kentucky Fried Chicken. So this would have been about 1966, maybe 1967, something like that. And we lived in Huntsville, Alabama, and my grandmother lived in Bogalusa, Louisiana. And she caught the train and from Louisiana up to Alabama, and we went to Birmingham to pick her up. And after we picked her up at the train station, I was a little boy, we went to eat at Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I know you can't imagine this, but back in 1967, 1969, all in that time, there were very few fast food restaurants. That was kind of the beginning of the fast food era. And I never will. I have a distinct memory of eating that chicken and drinking a Mountain Dew. And I just thought that was the most magical thing ever. I can still taste it. So, but anyway, I don't want to give away my secret recipe to my fried chicken. And then I don't want to get into the sausage making. And I don't know if you've heard this quote or not, or how the sausage is made. And it comes from a quote that laws are like sausages. It's better not to see them being made. And I would have, I've given you this beautiful picture of some sausage, Louisiana sausages, and some bell peppers and onions. And I'm not going to show you pictures of sausage being made because that'd be really gross. And so now to get into, I guess, the sausage making part. I've showed you this before, but this is very critical in the criteria, the requirements that I use in designing these Mallett buildings. And that is the rules for deflection. And in the International Building Code in Chapter 16, it says that for structural roofing and siding made of formed metal sheets, the total load deflection shall not exceed L/60. And then it says, for secondary wall members supporting formed metal siding, the design wind load deflection shall not exceed L/90. So you take for the metal sheathing, the metal sheathing spans 30 inches, and so the deflection in that 30-inch span can only be 30 inches over 90, which is 1/3 of an inch. And then the deflection for the secondary wall members supporting that, our wall members, our purlins, our girts, wall girts, span from post to post, which our posts are spaced at 10 feet, 9 feet, 8 feet, depending on the wind load. And so that's one of the keys. Meeting this criteria is one of the keys to to designing these, properly designing the Mallett building. And then another thing, it's in the sausage making, this, this odd looking slide here is kind of the basics of designing a beam. This is the beam, and this is the span between the supports, and this is the load. And that's a beam that's got two equal spans. And then this is a beam that has one equal span. And then this is a beam that rather than having a distributed load, it's got a concentrated load in the middle. Now, those three things are really the meat of how we design the Mallett buildings, is using those three formulas. And that's enough said about that. So, if you look at our Mallett building, and especially in this photo, this drawing is 3D perspective, you can see that our building is just a series of beams running running perpendicular parallel, and so we designed that based using those formulas. And then here, just another picture of it here. If you look at this, and then you go back, you see that looks very similar to that. And so that's how we design our buildings. And so the thing is, if you look at, when you see this, you just see a cross-section of the building. But when I see this, and when I think about it, I see the design process. Because someone that taught me a lot about engineering said that you build a building from the ground up, and you design a building from the top down. And so what does that mean? Well, the first thing in designing this structure, we have to make sure that the wind doesn't pull the sheeting off of these roof purlins. And then the second thing we have to make sure about is that the roof purlin stays connected to the roof truss. And then the next thing we have to do is the roof truss has to be properly designed for the proper wind load. And then the next thing we have to do is we have to make sure that the roof truss is connected to the post or the nub. And then the next thing we have to do is to make sure that the wall panel doesn't blow off, doesn't get sucked off the building. And then the next thing is we have to make sure that the wall girt stays connected to the post and doesn't deflect excessively. And then the next thing we have to do is make sure that our post is properly designed and is in the ground. And then the next thing we have to make sure that the slab is properly constructed. And so you see it's just one part after one part after one part. And that's as specific as I will ever get when it comes to designing my building and how we do these buildings. But it's good to know that somebody here at Mallett is designing every part and piece of this building. And, the proof, just like, with sausage or just like the chicken or just like the Coke, the proof is in the product. And, I'm sure you say, well, I don't know if you say, you probably say, I don't care what's in Coke. I love it. It tastes great. I don't care what's in the Kentucky Fried Chicken because it tastes great. I don't want to know about how the sausages are made. I just want to eat it. Well, the proof is in the product. Well, as we say over and over again, because Mr. Lee has been building these buildings for so long, we have the proof of the product. And we have a great product that has been able to withstand these storms that I talk about all the time, these design wind loads, these freak wind events, these tornadoes and straight line winds and stuff like that. And so not only is it a great product from the standpoint that it stands the rigorous requirements of the International Building Code, but it's a great product because it stand the test of time and it's stood the actual events that have happened. So that's today, and no corny jokes today. I'll just say, see you next year.